The aftermath of 9/11, you see, and by the way, it's important to mention here that Lut alayhi salam is saying this, and he knows that his words are going to offend his community. He understands that preaching truth takes priority over protecting people's feelings. Sometimes you have to risk speaking the truth, because if you're going to live your life trying your best not to offend anyone, you'll never be able to speak the truth. Because no matter what you say, you're going to offend somebody. So our political correctness has resulted in what? The loss of Islamic values. You know, after 9/11, what happened? The Muslims found themselves, especially in America and Europe, they found themselves being demonized by political establishments. For example, in the US, the Republicans weren't mincing their words about how Islam and Muslims are a threat. Every single Muslim in America, in Europe, was considered a potential terrorist. So what happened? Muslims decided to do what? They decided to, because they felt like they were political orphans. They needed a protector. So they decided to align with the left. They decided to align with the liberals, the progressives. So what happened? The left and the liberals, the progressives, whatever label you want to use, they decided to embrace the Muslims. But it was a conditional embracing. Meaning that we will embrace you, we will work with you, but if you challenge our liberal values, we will cancel. And therefore, in order to be a Muslim politician in the Liberal Party or in the Democratic Party, you essentially have to compromise certain Islamic values. And what happens is, as time progresses, you have Muslim politicians who are participating in pride parades. What happens is that in an attempt to secure political interests, you even have some Muslim scholars, of course they might have their own justifications, but I'm speaking about the natural consequences. What? When you have Muslim politicians and Muslim clerics aligning themselves with the political left, naturally what happens is that you have an entire generation of young Muslims who see scholars rubbing shoulders with individuals who are promoting these ideas. You have Muslim politicians who are like that, and then all of a sudden what happens? The shock value that should be there as a reaction to this deviant behavior is lost. Now, I'm not saying that Muslims should have aligned with the right. I'm simply stating that that political alliance came at a cost. This lecture, the reality is, a lecture like this should have been given 20 years ago. Should have been given 15 years ago, because now homosexuality is something that is accepted. In fact, if you look at the United States, in 2007, homosexuality was accepted by 27% of American Muslims. In 2007. In 2017, it went up to 52%. In 2007, so in a span of 10 years, 25% of American Muslims don't have any issue with homosexuality. It's not an issue anymore. Now, going back to the verses, there's something very important here. And that is the statement of Lut alayhi salam in ayah number 168 of Surah Al-Shu'ara. What does he say? قَالَ إِنِّي. So even though they threaten him with exile, they threaten to expel him, but this issue is so important that if you turn a blind eye to this issue, the traditional family unit becomes under threat. And if you don't have healthy families, and healthy families are there to govern the sexual desire that Allah has placed in us, if that is threatened, then you don't have a society. If you don't have healthy families, if you don't have individuals who understand how to regulate their sexual desires, you're not going to have healthy families. And if you don't have healthy families, you don't have a society. You cannot build civilization.